With Tyreek Hill, without Mahomes, and he has Tua Tagovailoa, I almost want to. Hello and welcome to Stop Vision. Today we're going over the top 12 fantasy football wide receivers, full point PPR and half point. Before we start, make sure you like and you subscribe. Did you do it? Alright, cool. Let's get into it. We're going number one, best receiver in football, Cooper Kupp, LA Rams. Did you see him and Matt Stafford at the award ceremony getting their rings? They were well connected, wide on rice. They got the addition of Allen Robinson on the outside. That will help alleviate the pressure for him. No Robert Woods, no Odell Beckham, I get it, but Cooper Kupp's in the slot. If you're fast, if you're agile, and you're in the slot, you have closer to the line of scrimmage, easier cornerback play, dunk and dunk, first down catches. Cooper Kupp has the athleticism to take it to the house. Easily the wide receiver one in fantasy football, offensive player of the year last year, led the league in touchdowns and yards. Could even have a better year than they did last year with the addition of Allen Robinson. Watch out for the LA Rams and Cooper Kupp. They did lose their offensive coordinator. He went to Minnesota. That's why we have Justin Jefferson that potentially is in the S tier, but he could be the number one. Kirk Cousins, sneaky good. Adam Thielen on the outside. Justin Jefferson in the slot. Yes, he'll be in the slot this year. Irv Smith healthy. They got Dalvin and Madison doing the flats and the wheel routes. So look out for Justin Jefferson. He's taking the Cooper Kupp role. And you saw what Cooper Kupp did last year. And Justin Jefferson is younger and more athletic. And here, speaking of younger, I'll put Chase. We're going to put him in the S tier. You want guys like this in your fantasy drafts because in their first year, when they're rookies and they get 500 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns, they are bound to have a better year two. And year 2 and year 3 statistically show that is their peak fantasy success. Yes, year 4 and onward, they could have a little peak and then consistency. But for the most part, you want them in year 2 and 3 because their ADP, average draft position, is so low because nobody knows they're going to break out yet. So the year to get Justin Jefferson was year 2 after he had that rookie breakout. Chase broke the model, and he's going to be taken so early in the first round because he has such a good rookie year that it defeats the purpose. But these guys are going to be superstars this year, and I'm here for it. Joe Burrow paired with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase he broke every record Justin Jefferson had. So Jamar Chase, there's not much to say that every fan you talk to knows Jamar Chase is going to be good. He's going to have another year under the belt in professional football. It almost seems like the NFL is easier for him and Burrow because they have better athletes, better support. They're going to do unbelievable things this year. And again, you wanted him last year and realistically this year, but he was so good he broke the ADP. So this is tier 1. These are your wide receiver ones in fantasy football where you're comfortable. Let's put Devontae 2 and I'll explain why. You want to draft these guys. So let's say you're doing a 0 RB strategy and you don't do running back. If you can get 2 of these guys instead of running back in the first 2 picks, you're good. You're off to a great start. Diggs, number 1 receiver on arguably one of the best offenses in all of football. Did you see that Bills-Chiefs playoff game last year? I know you did. So Stephon Diggs, I know Dawson Knox will be in the red zone. Josh Allen could run it. The ascension of Gabriel Davis and Jamison Crowder. I don't care. Stephon Diggs, always one of the top people in targets and receptions. Has been a baller ever since even high school. He was like Mr. Maryland, all-Maryland football player. Went to Maryland, 5-star recruit. Been a baller since he's been in the league. And look for him to do it again this year everyone is sleeping on Stephon Diggs this year. All these guys could be the wide receiver 1 in football. A couple in tier 2. There's a few question marks in tier 2, but I'll explain that. Devontae Adams, got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr's old teammate Fresno State. I don't care about the talent and target competition. Devontae Adams, the best route runner in football, one of the best players in football. He'll be absolutely fine. He will thrive in Oakland. I know he'll miss Aaron Rodgers, but he can run in the slot, he can run on the outside, and he's going to go absolutely monster this year. He is one of the people that I don't care if they're not in the slot, if they're in the outside, because his talent and athleticism will trump that, and he will find a way, because that's what he always does. And they all have yard after the catch. Big Yak fan. Speaking of Yak and talent and being young, CeeDee Lamb, this is his time. No Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup out for a little bit. You're going to have Tolbert, a rookie, competing with him, and Schultz, who didn't even re-sign. So the question mark is, though, why he's not in tier 1 is, can he do it? Can he be the alpha number 1? no Amari Cooper. Will Dallas's offense be as successful as they always have been? So look for CeeDee Lamb. The question mark is why he's not there. Another potential tier 1 player, but we're going to put him at 2. Mike Evans. I honestly don't really draft Mike Evans a lot because he's not a yak guy. These guys are all yak, yard after the catch. He kind of just falls in the red zone and gets touchdowns, which is fine. He'll need that to happen because they're not going to have Chris Godwin. At least he could be out 5-6 weeks. So that's another question mark. What happens when Godwin comes back? But until then, he's going to absolutely eat. I know they got Russell Gage, but Tom Brady and Evans, well connected. Look for him to have another monster year. And I will actually be drafting him this year. I think he's being very slept on. Let's see. Who are we going? Let's go. Reek. Man, you go from Mahomes to Tua Tagovailoa. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be a dip. But their coach from San Fran, McDaniel, he's so smart and knowledgeable that I do think they're going to do some jet sweeps. They're going to get him the ball. He's got the speed and the athleticism. But speaking of speed, I think the Chiefs got away with a good trade here because Tyreek Hill's best feature and best skill is his speed. He is getting a little older. When you get a little older, you know that, hey, look, like, I'm going to slow down a little. My body's going to get slower. But route running does not. That's why these route running players, like, when they get older, they can have successful careers like Larry Fitzgerald because they continue to run routes, to have the agility. Speed will slow down for Tyreek. Will that lead to soft tissue injuries like hamstring injuries? We will find out what happens, but I do expect a little bit of a dip. I could be wrong. He could end up being on this tier if they find a way to manufacture the offense. And it might not even affect him this year because he is still relatively young, but speed will catch up. That's all I'm saying. Tier 2. Again, these guys could all be tier 1, but there's some question marks. And this guy's the best example. Like PPR wide receiver 3 last year, 8 rushing touchdowns. Trey Lance, arguably a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Sky's the limit for Debo, but he might not play. So if you're not playing, you're not performing, you're not going to be tier 1. So that's a question mark, but he has all the attributes. He can run after the catch. That's what I love. Yak. He can get jet sweeps. He can run, especially with the rushing and the receiving and the yak. One of the best players, if he actually plays, he will definitely be tier 1. But that's the question marks. That's what refraining them from being in tier 1. We'll have to find out what happens. How many do we have here? We got 5. We got 9. All right, 3 more. Let's go, Mr. Reliable. A little bit older, but he could be on the best offense in all of football. I want guys paired with Justin Herbert. He's breaking records. And it could be Mike Williams. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Mike Williams is the number 1. But Keenan Allen's in the slot. I love my slot guys. Closer to line of scrimmage. He will get PPR machine every year. I don't care that he's getting older. See, that's the difference between Tyreek and Keenan Allen. He's not depending on speed, so that longevity will be there versus the speed, the one-trick pony, might not. But Keenan Allen, always grabbing him. And again, these are fine as your first wide receiver. If you have someone like this or Keenan Allen, maybe get a good running back. Maybe you want to pair him up with one line here, someone from this line, but that's kind of how you should start your draft. Let's see. Let's go T Higgins. A lot of people, analysts, are going to put T Higgins here. I need to see a little bit more just because Jamar Chase is going to get the large some of the target share. But if Jamar Chase goes down, T could be very well up here. Monster in the red zone, deep ball. You saw him in the playoffs. Tyler Boyd still will get targets in the slot. Joe Mixon gets his share of rushing yards. So no Uzama. Watch out for Hurst, though. He's not a bad player. But T. Higgins, he will do relatively well again. And again, this is what I was talking about. You want these guys in the year 2, year 3 breakouts. That way you have them, especially if you're in a keeper league or dynasty league. While people are sleeping on them, that's when you grab them. T. Higgins, watch out for a monster year, especially with Joe Burrow. I wanted to do A.J. Brown last. I really did. But I have more question marks with him than I do with this guy. We're going to go Deontay Johnson, Mr. Mini AB, Mr. Can't Be Guarded. If Kenny Pickett plays to the success that people are predicting, or even the Steelers' offense as a whole, like, look, no Claypool might not even be on the Steelers. You lost Juju. Claypool might be traded. He could be there, even better for their offense, whatever. But Juju, that's a lot of target share gone. I know he was hurt, but he was commanding a lot when he was healthy. They have Najee Harris. He's going to get some dink and ducks. But if Kenny Pickett plays at a high level, and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense will, if he does, Deontay Johnson could very well be one of the best receivers in all of football. The only thing that's in his way is himself, is his injuries. He has those soft tissue injuries, but if those get stopped, you will see Deontay Johnson shines when healthy every time. Absolute target magnet. Like, he just gets so many freaking targets. It's unbelievable when you look at the stat lines. Do yourself a favor. Look up how many targets a game Deontay Johnson gets when healthy. He is very slept on, very underrated. I'm going to be getting a ton of Deontay Johnson this year, and I suggest you do the same. Hey, if you want to find out how to win your league and you want to look at running backs, which I'll do next, quarterbacks, some sleepers, it's getting close to that time. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can keep updated on videos. They'll help you win your league. All right, peace.